Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Just got off of the Truth Mongers show, and we're just getting everything. Hey, Glenn, how you doing? Carl, Donna, excuse me. We are going to be drawing up a little bit of Grimm 101 Book 2 tonight. I've got a couple drawings I've been working on since our startup on Sunday. Doing really well with the campaign. If you guys could like and share this out, that would be great. We're at 71% roughly on the campaign right now. Thanks to you guys for backing me and sharing all this stuff. And I mean, it's a haul, and I know it's you guys are inundated with me posting stuff constantly. So, hey Sarah, how you doing? So it's just going to be kind of an intimate, just about an hour. We're just going to, make yourself a drink or get some tea or whatever, coffee if you're staying up late. And I just want to I'm going to do a split screen here, and we will just sketch up a bit. I'm going to be looking at the comments, but bear with me because I'm going to be kind of looking at the drawing too. So, but if you have any comments or questions, let me know. And yeah, so let's get to it. Let me see what I've got here. Let me switch over, add the stream, and then here we go. You guys can hear me okay? Just let me know. Give everybody a couple minutes to get in here. Yeah, if you could like and share, that would be awesome. Thank you guys. I appreciate everybody helping me out too on the campaign. You guys can hear me okay? Oh, you got the blue blackberry moonshine? Yeah, good. All right, good. I'm glad you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to move away from the mic a little bit. So if it's, hey, Damien, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, you guys be safe, all of you that are heading down to HalloCon this weekend. I want to make sure everybody's safe. And Damien, I'll look in the mail for the stuff tomorrow, and we will kind of see what transpires. I'm going to post as soon as I get the stuff in the mail, though. I'm going to put it all together and look at what I've got, and then I'm going to do a short video, excitement video of what Damien sent with all of the different things that are happening with Grimm 101, especially the figure that we have done that's selling on Kickstarter, because I really want to show everybody what we're doing and what they're investing in, because I know that they're going fast. I don't know how many sold. I think 5 or 6. So, but we're getting there. Hey, Paul, how you doing, sir? Hopefully you're doing well. Okay, so what I've got here in front of you, I don't know which number page this is going to be. I showed this on. This is the mausoleum piece that I'm working on. It's going to be in the 5x7 book format, like the other ones that you already have purchased from book 1, the 5x7. These are actually 4x6. They're on a 5x7 breakdown sheet, but I'm going to make them around 4x6, give or take. I usually resize them digitally when I set it up for book printing. So some of them I'll show you. The ones that I've already got made, I actually used a smaller stock, but it should fit. This is the way it'll look in the book, something along this size. So, but you can notice that I've just kind of my hand sized the one that we're working on tonight. But so one of the things about Grimm and that I've always been, like I said, fascinated with cemeteries. Anyway, if you guys have read the other book and that, and I know that you have, mausoleums have always been interesting to me too. And it always, for me, I'm not a big fan of the whole, embalming and having this huge, massive monument, to the remains of somebody. I think it's great. I think that it's nice to have people, come down to the cemetery and actually pay their respects and that. But I think some of these grandiose statements of life's fleeting, and I think it's kind of, I just think it's kind of a very overstated thing to have for bones or remains of people, whether they're cremated or not. But in this story, mausoleums are very important. There's a few of them, the richest people in the cemetery, But in any case, so what you see here, if you can, let's see the lines in that. So you've got the mausoleum here, and then I noticed that in some of the older cemeteries, they used to have them built into walls, almost like a berm. In Detroit, they've got Mount Elliott Cemetery as well as Woodlawn Cemetery that are built up much like this, to where they're built into a. It's a very multi-layered type of scenario with the cemeteries, and that's kind of what I wanted with Grim 101. Just in general, the series of these different type of almost an acropolis, if you will, and it gives you an idea. It's not like they're a bunch of different condos for these dead people. It's not that at all, but it gives you a feel for what the architecture is, the landscape is, to where Jim's life is, if you want to call it that, in his neighborhood, if you want to call it that either, that too. So, but let me give you an idea of what I'm trying to do. So the trees, I've noticed that a lot of the times the trees grow out of the hillside as well in a funky way, and their shapes are different. I'm still working on the shading, and that's going to be kind of my mainstay. I'm building out this idea of uh, dark and lights. So I'm going to get right to it. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. So I see that Glenn survived the robots or whatever that cut him off during the show. So that's good. But I'm sorry I don't have any music on or anything, so you guys can hum to yourself. I'm using the very simple watercolor spree that I've got, and then I've got my blender that I'm using. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to build just a facet of land mass behind him. But you'll see it a little bit easier in a minute here. But I like using the blender because I can control the water a little bit more. I don't always use that. Sometimes I use the brush on that, but this is nice because I can just get a feel for just a little bit of water to make a statement, but not so that it's making a mess. That's not what I'm trying to do. So it might take a few minutes for this to dry too. So just bear with me on that. It is a weird looking brush, isn't it? So it's full of the water here, and then it's got just the filaments. And this is actually squeezable. So as you add pressure to this, more fluid goes out of the brush tip. So just enough to give it just a little bit of water control. So let that dry for a second. But you can see how the line is. You see how I can make a kind of a sharp line, but it's still translucent. And that's kind of what I wanted with a lot of this. Just with the way the whole motif, the whole styling of it, it's very ethereal, as you guys know. And that's, kind of my style on this. It is a lot in a lot of my books. It's like that, but this is probably the truest form of what I'm trying to do. I'm usually trying to, and this is a black setup. One of the things I don't like about this is that they don't tell you which color is which. And I know they're black and obviously yellow and blue, that kind of thing, but it'd be nice if they had a name on these, which they don't have. They just have the name of the manufacturer. Spree, I guess, a Spree, I don't know, but they work really well. They're really, I got them off of Amazon. I've been really pleased with them as far as the way that they handle and everything. It's very nice. You drinking or you smoking any cigars tonight, Donna and Carl? Thanks, Glenn. I appreciate that. And I'm using a little bit lighter color for the steps. One thing too is on these brushes they can get real they dry out. It's kind of weird. When they get into water, they dry out. So it's kind of a weird thing. and I'll end up. This is when I use one of those wet boards that we talk about the ones I'm going to use for my bookmarks. And that's what I do here. I try to mark these as, it helps sharpen up it brings the paint back. It's really weird though. You'd think that watercolor or any water would be added to it. It would add more pigment or more control of the brush, but it doesn't really. It's kind of weird, but anyway. I've always been interested about how the doors on these mausoleums. Some of them looked all bashed in, or they're bronze, or they're copper, and they're all kicked in. Some of them, and that's what I kind of imagined in this, not like destroyed, but it always fascinated me that you've got all these, with the best well intentions of the people that put these monuments up to the people that were there, right? And then you've got these doors that are just bashed. And so it's kind of a shame. And a lot of them have this glass behind that's very, it's almost eerie because you can see into these, I don't know, you can see into these private spaces. What a lot of these people, that's why I consider a lot of it's just very eerie. You see people that are, I've seen some of them that have very, they almost have like sitting areas. That was one thing that I learned about Abraham Lincoln that I thought was very, not unsettling, but I believe that in the story, if I'm not mistaken, that his son died very young. And I heard that he would go to the crypt and actually, I don't know if he took the body out of the casket or what, but he read to him and spent time with him in the family's mausoleum. But I remember hearing something about that to where he was so grief stricken that he did that. I don't know if he disturbed the body or what, but it was very odd, the story. I remember that a little disconcerting. Maybe you guys can check that out. I don't know, but have a good night, Glenn. If I don't see you, have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm glad you're sleeping. That's good. Hey, Brian, how you doing, man? Thanks. Appreciate that. I'm going to be getting digital here soon. I've got my Cintiq already. I've got a few things I'm going to be doing digitally in the next year or so, but I still think that watercolor and that are going to be my mainstay for a long time. That's just me. I think I want to do in the future, I'm going to do a lot of covers that are going to be the only thing that's going to be watercolor, but we'll see how it goes. It's, you're kind of afraid. I don't want to lose my audience too, because a lot of people like the watercolor work. So I don't know. I'm going to have to kind of see what the market demands, and then we'll have to see how it plays out. But I'd love to see the reactions once my digital art comes about. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a different type of art form, Damien. It really is. It's the thing I love about it is, once it's completely zen because it's very once it's down, that's it. There's no erasing it. So you have to work with what you've got. And it's difficult for a lot of people. My dad was a watercolor artist, and even he had the thing I like about it is that it's not perfect. And there's a Japanese term called, you guys are going to laugh at this, wabi sabi, but wabi sabi is very much the perfection and imperfection. And I did that a lot with architecture, and I do it a lot with my work here. I think that there's room for, I mean, the imperfections are the beauty of it all. I think that there's the imperfection in life is what makes things beautiful. It drives me nuts because I tried to be a perfectionist for so many years, and it just didn't work out that way. And Christine's, she's been teaching me over the years how imperfections are the beauty of things. And it took me a long time to get through that. And that's one thing I really, really love about watercolor, because it softens, it's not softens, but its imperfection is its power. I see some people that are so precise with watercolor, and it looks like a photograph, and it's great, but that's not me. That's not how I deal with my surroundings in a lot of this. But yeah. So what I do is I'll build layers on layers, and then I'll smudge it down, and then we'll see where we're at with it once it dries. Because sometimes it looks too washed out, or then I can sharpen it with a pencil. And you'll notice I use a dab rag too, just to bring out some of the pigment, to make it a little bit more ethereal, a little bit more foggy. Yeah, so we'll see how that looks in a couple minutes. I do want to add some color to this today. What I wanted to do too, I'm going to see if I can bring some greens into this. I wanted to bring in a slight amount of color with a lot of these. Some people, they don't realize that I add color to a lot of it, and you guys did in the last book. You guys saw it, but I think that there's always room. You've got to have some color in a lot of these, because I think you get lost. It gets too depressing, to be honest with you. If it's all gray tone, and black and white's great, but it does need to have some fleck of color, something, because I just can't, even if it's moss growing on the side of the mausoleum, or the ivy, something. It's got to have something to bring in some depth to it. I'll add some yellow to this too in time. We'll see how it goes tonight, and then to see where I'm at with everything. But it doesn't, like I said, doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to bring in lines to. And one of the things, and I know Brian Rodman understands this. Mike Mignola does this. He lets your mind decide what's in the picture, and that's something that I try to do. Doesn't always seem to work sometimes, but I try to make it work. A lot of people see it with Mike's work, though. Mike does just the minimal amount of creating on his artwork. If you ever look at his Hellboy, the shadow lines are amazing. Just like Brian was talking about on Dastardly Dingoes last night. The shadow lines are awesome, but it really is the it's what you don't see. It's what your eye is creating in the format, and that's what I try to do with my work. So, and like I said, I have to layer this, so these colors are going to be quite bold on this when they're still wet. So just kind of bear with me on that. Don't write me off yet. It'll look awesome when it's done. Let me see what I got here. If I got a yellow, I think I've got a yellow around here somewhere. But I wanted to work on one of the drawings tonight, because I think that's some of them are a little bit. They can be a little bit time consuming. So, and that's why one of the reasons I sell, the interior art. I try to do it so that it's affordable during the Kickstarters. Once it's been on development, and that once it gets developed, let's say, like it's going to be next year, the prices will go up accordingly. But if you guys can get a hold of a piece of art now, and we can, I can save you a couple bucks now, then I'll do that. And you're helping me get the campaign out. And I try to, I'll try to bring in yellows. I might bring some reds in later. And this is, we're only on for an hour tonight. So I'm just trying to just to show you kind of the process of how it all works. Because sometimes when you get working with something, I know everybody as an artist, you guys understand this. If you draw or if you paint, it evolves. You really have a, how do I put it? You're channeling something, right? But yeah, you're out because it's not perfect, Damien. Okay, cool. Ted, is that a drawing from the backer part? Yes, actually that is. That's going to be one of the, what I'll do is I'll take this piece here. This will be covered in ink or in paint soon, probably this evening. And then what I'll do is I'll end up cutting this accordingly to what I need for sizes. And then Christine's going to actually take some of the lines from the book that I've picked out, and she's actually going to script these because it needs to be, since it's from Gwendolyn's point of view, it needs to be a woman's hand. It really does, because it'll look too masculine if I do it. So I don't want to do that. So, and that was actually Lisa's idea. I thought it was a brilliant idea. That was very, very good of her. I thought she knocked it out of the park uh, when she came up with that idea. Because I was just going to do it, and I'm like, you know, that's good. I need to think about that. That's a great idea. But anyway. But like I said, it can be very unforgiving. You got to be very sure with yourself when you're doing this, because it's hard doing it live because people are like, oh God, I don't like that, but it takes time to dry and it looks different when it dries. And what I will do though is I'll take this and I will actually, I'll do I lost, by the way, my middle finger there. I lost a discussion with a sharp knife in the kitchen yesterday. Actually did some stir fry and I was cutting up some onions. Anyway, I'll end up doing a line on this, a very light, it'll break up the architecture. You'll understand it once I'm done with it. And then I'll add a few pieces here and there of where it gets dark and light. But just so that you know, my dad used to paint a lot of things, and what he would do is he would have it on an easel. So the paint would run down the paper, and it made it look really cool, but it's just not my thing. I'm not for my look on this, I don't think it's going to work. I don't want to do that. But let that dry up a little bit. That's going to look a little better once it gives a second to dry. So, did I miss anybody's comments here while we're looking at just looking back? I appreciate you guys doing this because it means a lot to me that you guys take. I like having it just a couple of us just kind of going over stuff and just not being on the show, and having to, read all the comments. I love all the comments, but it's just nice being able just to sit down and kind of just have a cup of coffee or cup of tea with you guys and just relax and just kind of take it easy. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. Okay. In the story too, you can't get around one thing about Jim and with Gwendolyn both in the storyline. Everything revolves around nature. You cannot get away from it in the story. And I found that living here where we're at, I've found that I don't want to use the word blessed too much, but I've been blessed in that regard because I see that we're completely surrounded. You cannot live on a lake and not be affected by nature in some way, shape, or form. I'm always shocked at how unforgiving that lake can be, and how beautiful it can be. The colors, your landscape's moving all the time, all the time. It's not stagnant. And with a lot of the stuff, when we're inland, when you guys aren't by water, it can get kind of stagnant. And I know that it can get very not daunting, but I don't think I could live away from the water anymore. I mean, to be honest with you, but every aspect of it is dealing with uh, nature. And in the storyline, it's very much the same way. I was shocked when I really thought about it because the things that Jim talks about in the first memoir about the leaves that have fallen off the tree and how they're like his memories. They've blown away like a wind. He doesn't even, like a leaf, doesn't even recall where he came from. Doesn't know which tree he's from, And when you've got you've got that concept in life, that you deal with, um, just dealing with the way that the landscape changes so much around here. I can only imagine what it was like, or what it is like for Jim being in the same place, basically in solitary confinement for a long time. I mean, that's got to be unbelievable. I can't even imagine what that would be like. I hope I can show you that effect in the story. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to, but it gives you that's the process that I'm thinking about when I'm doing all this artwork. So I think about those small things like that, which can affect all of us, really. I mean, all of us deal with nature in our own respects, I guess. I know that Brian Rodman deals with nature in a different perspective when it comes to when it comes to trying to breathe. And we all do, for that matter, right? I mean, whether it's snow or whether it's ice or whether it's pollen in the air or whatever, we all deal with it somewhat, right? Okay. Hey, Pete, how you doing, man? Yeah, it does. One thing that Pete and I were talking about, if I can bring this up, we were in a conversation a couple of days ago. Was it yesterday? Maybe it was yesterday. And we were both in awe about. Pete actually lives north of me, about 200 miles or so, and we're on the same lake. That's how big the lake is. It's absolutely amazing. And you don't realize how lucky you are living on such a huge piece of water that 200 miles up the road is still the same body of water. It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's yeah, like I said, we're so fortunate um, to be able to live on that same body of water. But I'm gonna let that dry a bit. I'm gonna add a few other things in here. One of the things about green, complementary colors are real important, and it's hard to see right now. But you can't keep adding stuff when it's wet like that because it'll absorb it and make it muddy. So you want to let it just dry. What I usually do is I'll put it underneath the light for a bit, and then I'll add some more color tones to it. I don't want this door to look like it's a screen door. So I'm gonna do some scaling work. I might end up. There's a couple things I've been working on with a lot of um, this, where I take it down I take the colors down with a rag, or I'll take it with an eraser, or I'll add water, and then it'll bleed out just a little bit more, and then I'll take that pigment just a little bit further off. But once I add pencil to this, you'll understand all the definition of what I'm trying to do. But I think that's a pretty good idea. You understand that the trees are climbing out of this berm, if you want to call it that, this earthen berm, just like the mausoleum is. It's a very like I said, it's very ethereal, very almost you know, it's almost like King Arthurish in a way. So, but I'll add some more details on that once it dries. But you're getting an idea of the feel of the book, I think. Hopefully, you guys are liking it. And then this color too. These are LED lights that I'm under right now. If you look under incandescent, it's a little bit different. It'll be a little bit brighter. And then what I do is I'll end up, when we sell these, it's one thing. You'll have this color scheme, and the book it might be a little bit lighter because I actually change things a little bit digitally when I scan. So, and that tapers it off a little bit too. So, let's see. One of the ones I wanted to work on, this one a little bit more. This is I was working on this too in the evening that we launched everything. So let me get to work on that. Any other questions, guys? You gotta. How you doing, Ace? How are you? So I'm gonna darken that up a bit. You'll notice a lot of the interiors. I don't use a lot of pen ink. I'm watercoloring still because I want to make sure that we've got that ethereal look still. As we're finishing up in the series, I've told people this before, and I know it's not like a broken record, but I'm going to add more detail as the story develops, and then you get to really see the way Jim looks in his life and his features in that, as well as Gwendolyn. But how's it going, Joe Dog? So yeah, I was talking to Christine and I were talking, and next year we're definitely going to be down at HoloCon. So she said, "Nope, I'm going too." I said, "Okay, cool." So you got to find a place for us that's going to have access to dog, small beautiful dog Calypso. So she needs to come with us. So you're going to have to figure that out for us, Joe Dog. So, yeah, so it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward. I'm sorry we can't be there this year, but I just think next year is going to be a lot better just with everything going on, but we're going to plan it. We're going to make sure we're there, and we're already going to schedule it. That way, anything that's going on in California or whatever, we'll make sure that we're freed up this time of year for HoloCon, and we're looking forward to it. I know that Chris and I were, we wanted to come down there this year, but we just think it's just for us right now. It had been too much just to get down there, and by the time getting back, and she still works outside the home and all that stuff. So yeah, pet friendly hotel that's decent. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have a Rising Tide affiliation somehow. We'll pretty much, sorry, Joe, but probably we'll inundate the show. But yeah, we'll definitely, I know that we've got plenty of babysitters for Calypso if we can't bring her to the show, which is understandable. So, but we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. I know that we try to take her with us everywhere, but I don't quite have the the licensing to have her as a anxiety dog. But maybe next year. But no, I wouldn't do that to you guys. But we'll try to at least we'll try to bring her down. But we'll definitely be there. We're looking forward to it. Looking very much forward to it. Okay, so like I was saying in the call on Sunday when we launched this thing, and like I said, if you guys can share, like, and share and all this, that would be awesome. That would be great because it helps me. We're about 71% right now, and you guys have all been great investing, and I appreciate it so much. But I want to get a little bit. Obviously, we want to get further. I know we got 18 days, but I'd like to get it so that if I can just get to the point where we're funded, I can relax a little bit. I know that we'll fund. I'm not worried about that. It's just me being Ted. So, but anyway, what I was saying about this particular piece, one thing about Jim, he's not a creeper, and I didn't want that feeling. And it's hard because as an observer, I think that he must feel that way as a character. He's more like a wallflower, and I think that that's with what we're dealing with his character. I think he's got a. I think we've all been there, right? We've all been there, not like a creepy voyeur or something, but we've been there like um you feel like you're not heard. You feel like you're not nobody's paying attention to you. And maybe that's the way he feels. That's really what I wanted to portray with him because I think we've all been there. I think that we've all felt a little bit like we've not been lost necessarily, but just maybe forgotten. Maybe that's the right word. But and it's a hard thing. I mean, a lot of people that's a devastating blow that a lot of people don't get over. And I think that's what Jim is dealing with. What's up, Brian? How you doing, man? Thank you for sharing out everything too, guys. You guys have been awesome. Brian, all that. I'm glad you are less stressed tonight, man. I know it was not an easy morning for you. Or even last night, dude, you did an awesome show. And I noticed that you posted that before you got on the show. So Rodman, that the show must go on, man. You're amazing. And that's why I got on on the horn with you this morning first thing so that you knew that it wasn't not permanent, bro. You got through that. So a lot of people, I'm glad other people stepped up and took care of what they could for you. But yeah, so there's a lot going on with Jim though. I think that I don't know if I'm going to do him justice. And I'm hoping that when they do the adaptation of the book for episodes for whoever they're sending it to, Netflix or whoever, when they do the episode, when they do that, I hope that they can get the feeling that I'm trying to portray with him, because I think that it's really important. Because I think, like I said, we've all felt like that. We've all felt like we've been not forgotten, but just not, like I said, maybe not heard, maybe not had a voice in certain situations, and it's disheartening. I mean, it's very frustrating for a lot of people. And you get to the point in your life, and Jim's not even really hasn't had a life from what we know. You're he's dealing with he's just trying to make it work without feeling like a creeper, which I can understand that point. That's got to be a very awkward place to be in. I think that he's got a potential to be a very endearing character. I think you guys will see that as time goes on with this story. But And I said, like I said, I'm still working on a lot of this. I'm going to be blending a lot of these colors, and uh, maybe there might be a more blue tones possibly in this. And then I'm also going to add a few things with the pencil work, because a lot of this too, I'm building layers on certain things with this. I still want him to be translucent in nature, because he hasn't been seen yet, except by Gwendolyn. But Kickstarter's going pretty good. Let me see what I've got right now. Since we're talking about it, we're still at 1770. We got 33 backers, so we're at 71%. So that's good. So we're kind of, it's a plateau. We've had just soaring, numbers all the way, especially Sunday night. It was great. I mean, you guys really, just an amazing send offs. Thank you guys. And we just, that you can't get around it. You're going to have plateaus in it, and it's very secular. People get paid on Fridays and all that stuff, and we still have 18 days to fund. I know that we're going to be fine in funding. I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. But I know that, Chris and I really appreciate everything you guys did for us. We mean it every time that we're, you make me, I've had a lot of successes, but it always makes me feel good when I've got a core tribe of people that still believe in my work and still believe that, what, it's you're nuts, but you're our kind of nuts, and that's what I like. I jokingly said to Chris, I think we've got, I said, amongst the Rising Tide group, I said, I think we've got a, amount of money that it just floats between each of the campaigns. So it goes from one person to the next. It's kind of like petty cash at our office. It's like, okay, okay, we got to pay for this. Okay. And then I'm sure we'll get reimbursed on this, and all that. But I think I think it's kind of true in a way. And what a blessing, guys. What a blessing. To have you guys, I know that you're investing money, that not necessarily all of you got, and I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. And that when we all get to the point where we're investing back and forth to each other, I'm going to invest right back to you. You know that. So I hope you know that, because it means a lot to me. Okay. So that gets an idea with him. A lot of things with Jim too. He doesn't know where he got the coat. He doesn't know why he's dressed in the clothes that he's in. It could be it could be a walk of shame. He might have just had a one night stand or something, God forbid, and he might have had, he's lost. He's in this situation to where he just doesn't know from where he comes from, and I think that's a really scary, scary thing. If you have, if you've ever felt like you didn't, not like you had I don't mean that you had a drunken stupor or something, you wake up one night. I don't mean that, but if you feel like you've ever been in the wrong place, you just feel like you're completely out of sorts. And then think about that that you're dealing with that for 150 years and not knowing where you came from. That would be, that would scare the hell out of me. And a lot of people, for him being a being that's not even technically, well, he's not a human being. That would have to be a pretty amazing thing to have to deal with. And I hope that you guys are seeing that capacity that hopefully I'm hoping that it's a capacity that you're going to see him being a better understood character because of it. And I think that you guys will see that. I think once things start happening for him, and now the big thing with Gwen seeing him, he's got this. You guys remember the first time that you were ever maybe noticed, or if you've really liked somebody, say in grade school or something like that, and you had this, oh, we're gonna hold hands, we're gonna go steady, that kind of feeling of, what's the word? The appreciation. You're actually seen. You're actually you have worth. You are attractive to somebody. That's a very very true feeling of the way that is in the book with Jim. Uh, since he hasn't been seen by anybody that he remembers, it's a real, it's a defining moment for him, which it should be. But it's sad also. It's very melancholy. It's very, he wonders if he ever loved before, and that would have to be a really crushing thing to think of. He's happy with where he is, now, that somebody's seen him, somebody's heard him. But yeah, that would have to be a real, I don't know. But you can see where I'm going with the storyline. So I think that hopefully that helps you a little bit when you're deciding whether you like it or not. Hopefully you do. But and then I'm probably going to add a few hints of the blue in this, but I'm going to do that with brush once this dries, because I think that's an important part of what you guys, are you liking the artwork at all? Are you guys feeling that you're feeling good with the art? You're understanding it? Or am I completely off mark? Not what you expected? Let me know. Ace, he does, I think that he's kind of in this limbo. Thanks, Brian. He's kind of in this limbo. I think that he probably is knowing, I mean, me as an author, I know how old he is, but he's kind of stuck in this not middle age, but maybe 30s, but he doesn't age like we do. And he's like I said, he's not of the earth. He's more of a soul, if you want to call it that. I don't consider him a ghost or a specter or anything like that, but it's very much, uh, he doesn't even know if he's ever lived before. And if you read the story in book one, he talks about, I wonder if this is if I'm buried here. I wonder if this is my grave here. Is this me? Is this my loved ones that are coming to here and to pay their respects? Is this my wife, maybe? Or maybe my younger sister, or maybe this older woman's my mother. Is this who I was, and I just can't remember my life? And that's got to be, again, heartbreaking. And the only resolution that he's got is his book with this job title of a Grim on it, Grim 101. I mean, how would you feel if you lost all your memories and then didn't have all you had was a guidebook of pictures that you didn't remember, or names that you didn't remember, people that you didn't remember? That would be horrific. That would be torturous. So, but anyway, so I think this is getting dry there. So I'm going to add a sketch. I'm going to add a few things to this. It doesn't take long for it to dry. I've got, like I said, I've got the heat's on right now, and I've got the LED lights going, and I've got one incandescent over here too. It's about 10 o'clock, so we got about another 15 minutes or so. I appreciate you guys sticking around. I know it's late. So I'm just going to do a light line work on this, because again, it's very ethereal, and then we'll just see where we're at, see how this works. I don't think I'm going to add, I might add a little bit of ink to this, but I'm not sure. I might try to see if this is, and some of this too with the lead, I've got to be careful when it scans, because sometimes it flashes, and then I have to take it down with the digital adjustment, because it gets to the point where it's just not, like I said, if it flashes, it won't look right. It'll look like it'll look like it's silver on here, and it might not look right. So, but I really like the fact, I love the translucency of watercolor. You can bring out so much in the line work, because you've got these, it's almost a scribble. And I really wanted that with my with the effect. So, and as I let this dry, it's hard when you're drawing when you're on camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this probably dry, and then I'll add a few more touches of what I'm going to do afterward. But there's some things on here that I just I know I've got a few things I want to add, like cracks and that kind of thing to it. And I'm going to probably use a brush on some of this to bring down some of the other other flavors that I want to do with this. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it. You see spirits too, huh, Sarah? That's it's a lightning living by a cemetery, let me tell you. There's certain I go out and I'll take Calypso out at night. And it's weird with her, especially when we had Murphy. Murphy, our dog, passed away in March, and it's a very eerie thing. It's beautiful living next to a cemetery, an old cemetery. It really is. It's gorgeous, especially by the lake, because you've got all this life and all this, like I said, changing landscape and everything, and then you got this quiet area it's this old cemetery, and the stones are old. They've been there, almost 100 years or so, and it's interesting to see how dogs see things or how cats see things, and Calypso will bark at certain things, um, and there's nothing there. And sometimes it might be obviously a deer or something I can't see because of dark light or whatever, but it's interesting nonetheless. And yeah, it's just really, it's always been kind of a, uh, it's kind of cool. That's all. It's kind of creepy cool if you know what I'm saying. If you've ever dealt with that, if you've ever seen the way animals act, um, in certain environments like that, it's always cool, I think. But anyway, I digress. Does she? Yeah, I figured Luna probably did. She probably, well, they see, I mean, they do. I think that there's certain things that we're not supposed to see. And I think that a lot of the things that we're not supposed to see, animals are. And that's one thing I think that, I don't think that we're far off from being the familiars that they make us out to be. I know that there's an old Native American story that talks about when the earth split, when the continents were one and then the earth split, there was dogs, and the dogs jumped on the same side that the men were on. And that stuck with me since I was younger. I think cats did too, don't get me wrong, but it's still fun to ponder the story. But yeah, I appreciate you guys sticking around. Pete says this whole project has had me in over the moon. So thank you, man. You've always been so supportive, Pete. I appreciate it. Pete was actually one of the he he bought one of the largest art tiers on the last campaign. I appreciate it greatly. You actually got one of the figures too, didn't you, on this one? So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a whole nother level of art. It's nice because Damien gets to be featured on that, and I can't wait to really show people what we're going to be able to do with the colors. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. I'm an old model railroader from a long time ago. My dad and I had, yeah, we were those dorky guys with the model railroads, but I haven't been able to do that. My dad passed away about, let's see, be 10 years next year, 10 years in June. And I don't have the room for a model railroad now just because we live in a smaller home, which is cool. I'll take it. Um, but it'll be fun to get into the miniatures again. I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. Like I said, once I get the other colors, it won't look like a photo mat mausoleum. It'll look better once it's all done. But right now, I just want to make sure I get the scope of what I'm trying to do. I'm going to darken up that hill back there too. So once I get the a little bit more ornate stonework, it's going to be real subtle, but I think it'll be great. I think once you guys see what I'm trying to do. And then once I use a brush on here too, it'll be a little bit sharper. You'll see some of the brushes. Let me grab one so you can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, so when I use this type of brush on it, it'll give it a chisel effect, and I'll be able to bring down a little bit of the line work, and it'll give more of a sharpened gray tone, and I'll be able to carry it on up here too as well, and I can show the definition better because right now it's just bleeding. So I'm going to darken this up a bit so that uh, the 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 um, the berm or the hill will actually be a little bit darker, and then the tree trunks will be a little bit more. Uh, they'll be a little bit um, not not like horns, but they'll be kind of like that. So yeah, I can't wait for the figure either, Pete. Yeah, Damien sent me them yesterday, I think. So I should get them. If I get them tomorrow, I'll post it tomorrow. If not, I will see with I will totally see if I can't like get right on there. I'll get on YouTube or something. I'll post it straight away so you guys can see it, and but I'll do a small video on it because I think it's going to be great. Sarah, I think so too. I think that you're saying that the animals or what? Is that what you're thinking? Yeah, Ace, I agree. Um, yeah, I think that there's something, I never growing up, I never had any animals. I had a dog, but it ended up we went on vacation and I came home and the dog wasn't there anymore. My brother said, "Yeah, we took it to a farm," which meant, you know what it meant. So, but I guess it had worms, and I was a little kid. I didn't know how to take care of the animal because I never had any, pets. So, when Chris and I got together in that, we had pets, and she really has taught me a lot on how to be around dogs and cats, and we've had all kinds of animals, and it's been great. But I've learned after I thought that Murphy would be the last one that we were going to have, and I said to her, I said, well, I said if we I said if we're I really didn't. I want to be able to travel. I knew that I was going to be doing a lot of things with the book and the movie and all this other stuff, and I knew that that was coming up. But I wouldn't trade Calypso for the world. And then when we brought Calypso home last March, her birthday's actually coming. No, January. Her birthday's coming up next week. Actually, she's going to be a year old. But her and her and Murphy had about 3 months together before Murphy died, and I think that Murphy probably knew that we'd be okay without him because she was here. And I think that helped him transition, if you want to call it that, or move on. I really think that. Um, yeah, without getting too emotional. But I think but I'll tell you what, Calypso's got me through so much because of that. I miss Murphy a ton. But, we had him 14 years. So he's quite, he's with the kids when they're growing up. And that last day was tough. Boy, it was a hard day. Um, he died here at home, and I'm glad that he was home because they wouldn't let us in the uh, vet. They just basically wheeled him in, and that would have been it. But this is yeah, she's terrific. She's got me through so much, and she's made me look at life a lot differently too. Uh, the puppy mindset I talked about on my audio podcast, and it's very true. You see life in a whole new way when you've got a puppy around. Everything's new, and that's the way you should live your life every day. And it's not easy, right? Because we get stuck into that groove, and got to pay bills, got to do whatever. But I'm fortunate in that regard because I get a chance to do what I love, and it's because of you guys. It's because of Christine, and now it's because of Calypso because she gives me a little break sometimes. Sarah says, "Cool, right, man." Yeah, yeah. My and I think that there's something about it. I having pets. I think that there's and I really don't know if they ever leave us, to be honest with you. I think that I know I'm getting a little corny here sometimes, but I don't know if they ever leave us. I think that throughout our lives, we're still connected with them somehow. Um, I'm always at night, if I get up or whatever, I'm always worried about tripping over Murphy still, and he's been gone since March. I don't know if I'll ever get over that really. But yeah, you get through life and it makes it, Chris says, we don't have them around forever, but it makes our lives so much sweeter that they're here. And I think that that's very true. That's very, very true. Yeah. And I think that and they are your babies. They are absolutely your babies. Anybody who says any different, I think's wrong. Calypso is very much a little daughter to me, no doubt. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, I get sappy in my old age, I guess. But okay, guys, it's 10:15. Thank you guys for stopping in. Thank you for enjoying some of my artwork. Please like and share this out. I would appreciate it. I hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we will talk to you soon. Don't work too hard. Let me entice you a little bit more, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great night, and we'll be seeing you. Well, let's see. What do we got? Friday, got Drinking with the Davies. We got a new drink called the Raven, and I'm looking forward to it. Chris has really been talking it up, so I'm really looking forward to it. Very spooky, very holiday, for the Halloween time frame. So check us out on Friday, and I'll let you know what else is going on. We've got I'm going to be on Sheer Nova at 9 p.m. right after, literally like an hour after on Friday. I'm going to be on talking about Grim 101 on that. I'll post the link once I get it. And then we'll be on CromCon on Saturday at 6 p.m. With Pops Van Zant. I got a crew of people I'm going to be on there with, but Lisa Malone management is going to be, I think, headlining all of it. So we'll be part of that. So you'll learn a little bit more about Grimm and a little bit more about the artwork. I'll do another live video too if you guys want to see more of the art as it's developing. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will talk to you soon. Do not work too hard. Bye.
Most of my life I've felt alone, but not here. I suppose, living next to a cemetery, your neighbours are always close. It is peaceful and quiet, but not lonely. In fact, since my first visit amongst these graves, I've felt a presence, a calmness that fills the air and surrounds me like a gentle morning mist. That's how I know he is there. It's a feeling of being watched from afar. I wait in silence as well, until we meet.